friends, it's Cheryl, the Wandering House Sitter. And thanks for joining me today. I am going to do a roundup of everything I've been up to in the month of July. Well, to start off with, I'm house sitting in a condo on the 10th floor, and I do have all the windows closed and the sliding door closed so I can record this, but I can still hear the sound of the street traffic, street noises coming in. And the unfortunate thing about this house sit is that it's a noisy location, and I wouldn't have thought it would be that noisy, especially this high up. But there's construction, there's street traffic, there's a sky train that's just on the other side of this building, so it does get pretty noisy. So I started the month of July. I said goodbye to my horse. He's up in cowboy country in a different part of British Columbia, and I drove back down to the coast. So I'm pretty close to Vancouver right now, and I just mentioned the SkyTrain. The SkyTrain station is about a block away from where I am house sitting, and I am able to get into Vancouver. And I don't usually get into Vancouver. I don't like Vancouver a whole lot for the things I just mentioned. Noise. Vancouver's got a lot of traffic and a lot of construction going on at all times. And almost always, and probably because of these two things, Vancouver's also kind of a smelly place to hang out. But it wasn't so bad the day I was there. I went in, basically I wanted to have lunch. There's a restaurant in Vancouver I like that serves poutine. For those of you that do not know, poutine is kind of a Canadian thing. It is French fries, it has gravy, and then it may or may not have other toppings on it. And La Belle Patate in Vancouver has really good fries. They cut and do them all themselves, and they have a vegetarian gravy. So that's really good. I don't have to worry about it the way I do some other poutine places because the gravy is vegetarian. They don't have any gravy with meat in it. Phew. So I had the veggie poutine, big surprise, and that came with onions, peppers, and mushrooms. And that's what I always get. And when I say always, it's probably been about 10 years since I was last at La Belle Poutine, and probably the last time I was in Vancouver. Because I just don't go in that much. Aside from the SkyTrain, which is fairly reasonable to get to, where I've spent most of my life living on the other side of the Fraser River, there is no SkyTrain. There's a bus I can take to the SkyTrain, but it's kind of a long day ordeal. It takes about an hour by bus to get to the SkyTrain. And then once you're on the SkyTrain, it only takes about half an hour or so to get into Vancouver. So I am looking after two cats right now, and they are very active cats. Most times when I house sit cats, they sleep all the time. Cats are usually pretty easy to take care of. You feed them, you clean the litter box. If they want attention, they come to you because that's the way cats are. They let you know when they want attention and when they don't want attention. But these cats are really active. They are always coming over. They always want attention. They want food. Even though they are on a feeding schedule, they get fed 3 times a day in kind of more or less specific time zones, but an hour to 2. I'm surprised they're not over here meowing right now, even though it's about 2 hours away from feed time. Like I say, really active. They come over, meow, meow, meow. So they're not the easiest cats to take care of. And I am more of a dog person. Most of you know me. I've had dogs all my life, horses. Most horse women, they also own dogs. I've also owned cats on and off for most of my life as well. But I'm a dog person. Cats are okay. Dogs are the best. So it's a good location here where I am. I mentioned the Fraser River already. I can walk along the banks of the Fraser River here. There's a very nice path, the sidewalk that goes on for quite some time. So yes, I'm getting my steps in daily. I usually walk anywhere between 10,000 to 15,000 steps a day. So that's approximately 9 to 12 kilometers that I'm walking every day. For those of you that are in miles, the imperial system, that is maybe 6 miles or so a day, 6, 7 miles. But that's nothing compared to when I was walking the Camino de Santiago. That was at least 20 kilometers a day. So this is July 31st. It's been a long-term sit. The homeowners are away in Europe for 5 weeks, discovering various countries and doing hiking, and they even took a cruise. But they'll be back in about 10 days. And yes, I'll be glad to leave because, like I said, it is quite noisy here. I have to have it's hot too, so I have to have the screen door. I'm sorry, the sliding door of the balcony, I have that open all the time, and I still hear all the street noise, and there's a lot of sirens around here. I'm constantly hearing police cars or fire trucks. It's hard to say about ambulances, but definitely fire trucks and police cars multiple times a day. And that might also be, in case you are not quite familiar with the SkyTrain area, it gives shelter for homeless people to sleep under because it's covered. They don't have to worry about the rain or the sun. And there's also quite a few outreach places around here for the homeless. Now, I am homeless myself, so I totally have no issue with homeless people. I donate every year for at least 20 years to the Union Gospel Mission, which is out of Vancouver. And they also have outreach places around other places in the lower mainland in the greater Vancouver area. But some of these people who are homeless, they are on drugs, and you can just, or they have mental health issues, and it is pretty sad. You see them on the sidewalks, and they are, on their way to getting out of control. And I think that's why we see so many police and the fire trucks showing up. I watched a fire truck pull up to a fellow who was screaming and hollering just across the street from here, and then he just fell. He just collapsed onto the sidewalk. And the firemen get out. I couldn't see what happened because the fire truck blocked it, and I was going for a walk back down to the river. So aside from all of that, this condo is a one-bedroom condo, so it's about the smallest place where I've ever had to do a house sit. But it's fine. I don't feel unsafe here. I don't go out at night for sure, but I feel fine just wandering around at the daytime and going for my walks, going shopping. And I'm looking forward to August. I have a house sit. As soon as this one ends, I'm going to my next house sit. And when that homeowner comes back, I have another house sit that'll take me through the end of August and into September. So I am looking forward to that. And that house sit is with dogs. The house sit that's in between does not have any animals. It's just providing security, a presence on the property, and watering plants. And I think that pretty much just covers my life. As a house sitter, I don't do a whole lot of different things. I do a lot of reading. I work on my computer. I keep up with my blog, and from time to time I post a YouTube video. But I read a lot, and this place just has a regular TV, regular channels, and Crave TV. So I have caught up on a couple of shows, but whether I watch TV or not, it's just irrelevant to me. I can take it or leave it. Obviously, I have my laptop. I can watch YouTube videos. Anyway, we'll just sign out now. It's the end of July, and I hope everyone's enjoying their summer. This is Cheryl, the Wandering House Sitter. Thanks for watching today. Bye for now.